Hello, this is the 21st lecture for vocabulary level 4. So the first word is waterproof, which is an adjective. It means not allowing water to go through. So there's waterproof clothing, waterproof watch, waterproof phone. Usually waterproof clothing are coats for winters when it rains. The coat basically is waterproof. The coat doesn't soak up the water. Um, there's also waterproof phones, which you can put underwater and it still works. So these are some sentences. Canvas boots are all right, but they are not as waterproof as leather. There are electrical connectors cased in waterproof plastic. The material has been treated with resin to make it waterproof. This coat isn't waterproof, but it is showerproof. Swimmers and lifeguards must wear waterproof clothing while diving. iPhone 7 and Galaxy 8 both are waterproof, so their users can take photos underwater. The second word is compass, which is a noun. It is a device for finding direction which has a needle which can move easily and that has always points to magnetic north. So there's north, south, east, west. There's even southwest, northwest, southeast, and northeast in the compass. Usually, people would have the physical compass, but nowadays every phone, most smartphones have compasses inside. A compass is an instrument used for navigation and orientation that shows direction relative to the geographic directions. The first compass in ancient Han Dynasty China was made of lodestone and naturally magnetized or iron. The compass was invented more than 2,000 years ago. Compasses often display markings for angles and degrees in addition to the rows. So there's health and healthy. Health is a noun, the condition of the body and the degrees to which it is free from illness or the state of being ill. Healthy is an adjective and strong and well. So I can describe this woman as healthy because it's obvious that she's wearing gym clothes or exercise clothes, and she's running and she's drinking water. So this girl is healthy. For example, eating fruits and vegetables is good for your health. Or if you eat good amounts of the vegetables and fruits, you are healthy. So it can be used in both cases. Healthcare workers are some of the lowest paid people in the country. The walk had given her a healthy glow. A healthy body will be able to fight off the illness naturally without the use of medicine. Fresh fruits and vegetables form an important part of a healthy diet. My children never eat too much, but they seem quite healthy. People's health is generally good, but they have a few minor problems. Digest is a verb, and it is to change food in your stomach into substances that your body can use, or to read or hear new information and take the necessary time to understand it. So you can say that, for example, this guy, he is digesting the food, and the first process is going through the mouth, then going through the throat, then going into the stomach, and so on. So this is the fourth, and the fifth, and the sixth. So basically, that is called a digestive process. Meat eater must produce extensive bile acids in their intestines to properly digest the meat that they eat. The adult owls feed their young with food which they are already partly digested. Discover how eating raw foods help balance your diet and aids digestion. Eating so late at night can't be good for anyone's digestion. Ziad always had trouble with his digestion. I think he doesn't chew the food properly. So this is the second definition. It says, this chapter is so difficult to digest, I shall have to read it again later. So it is hard to, basically digestion means to, when you eat food and it gets into your body and your body takes the useful substances. But over here is kind of the same way, but comes to the brain. So, for example, the chapter is difficult, so he can't digest it in the mind. Um, so the information, it needs time for him to understand it, so he has to reread it again. A digest of the research finding is now available. The company publishes a monthly digest of its activities. Retreat is a verb. It means to go away from a place or a person in order to escape from fighting or danger. Attacks by enemy aircraft force the tanks to retreat from the city. When he's done something wrong, he retreats to his bedroom. So basically, he goes to his bedroom. On seeing us, the deer stood stock still for a moment, then he turned and retreated into the forest. When we saw the police arriving, we beat a hasty retreat. The more they tried to get her to talk about her experiences, the further she retreated back into her shell. So, for example, this girl, she's retreating into nature in order maybe to escape from fighting, maybe family issues, and so on. So, fast has a noun and verb, and it basically means a period of time when you eat no food. It also means, for example, there's fast food, like when eating a food fast. Like fast foods are basically food that you just eat quickly straight away, like burgers and pizza and so on. Um, you can say there's also like fast means like quickly doing something quickly. Hundreds of prisoners began a fast in a protest about prison conditions, so they didn't eat. One day a week he fasted for health reasons. Gelas was going to do a 7-day fast, drinking only fresh organic fruit and vegetable juices. So sometimes there's another there's like this our kind of there's like Islamic kind of way of fasting, which is basically eating no food and no water during Ramadan. But there's also fasting that is used. People just don't have food; they just drink, for example, water, fresh juices, and so on, to cleanse their body, and that's called a detox diet. Thousands of Muslims begin a fast at Ramadan and they don't eat and drink any food and drinks for 1 month. Kardu and Guli are going to do 15-day fast, eating only vegetable 3 times a day. Okay, so the next word is demonstration and demonstrate. Demonstration is a noun and it means when you show someone how to do something or how something works, or when a group of people march or stand together to show that they disagree with or support something or someone. Also, being used as an expression. Demonstrate is a verb which means to show or to make clear. So these are some sentences. These figures clearly demonstrate the size of economic problem facing the country. These problems demonstrate the importance of strategic planning. So they show he's got a job demonstrating kitchen equipment in a department store. Thousands of people gathered to demonstrate against the new proposal. So in this case, it means to demonstrate, like to express, also being used as an expressing. Yeah, this disaster is a clear demonstration of the need for tighter controls. Let me give you a demonstration of how the camera works. So basically, let me show you, let me make it clear. Shady told us how easy it was to use the computer. Then, by the way of, yeah, that sentence is incomplete. By the way of demonstration, I guess. Publish is a verb and it means to make information available to people, especially in a book, magazine, or newspaper, or to produce and sell a book, magazine, or newspaper. So you can publish books, publish an article, publish a newspaper, and so on. She's just had an article published in their weekend supplement. The government publishes figures every 6 months showing how many people are unemployed. The names of the winners of the competition will be published in June. Shirin was only 19 when her first novel was published. Photographs were published of her in a compromising position with her bodyguard. Strike is a verb and means to refuse to continue working because of an argument with an employer about working conditions, pay levels, or job losses, or to cause a person or place to suffer severely from the effects of something very unpleasant that happens suddenly. Democratization has brought workers the right to strike and join a trade union. We're striking for a reduction in the work week and improved safety standards. So basically, people strike when something unfair happens. Usually, they get paid less or they lose their job. So basically, they strike in order to get what they want. They predict that a large earthquake will strike the East Coast before the end of the decade. So this one is the second definition: to suffer severely from effects of something very unpleasant that happens suddenly. This is the second time in 10 years that a major earthquake has struck this region. So struck is the past of strike. Protest, there's noun and there's a verb. A noun is, or the noun of protest is a strong complaint expressing disagreement, disapproval, or opposition. So these people are protesting. The second one is a verb, which means to show that you disagree with something by standing somewhere, shouting, carrying signs, and etc. So you can say that I was protesting for my rights, or you can say there was a protest outside the parliament. Protests have been made registered by many people who would be affected by the proposed changes. The man only went to the meeting under protest. A big crowd of demonstrators were protesting against cuts in health spending. A lot of people protested about the new working hours. They protested bitterly to their employers, but not to avail. All through the trial, he protested his innocence, strongly said that he was not guilty. The students are holding demonstration to protest against the increase in their fees. So there's superhero and it's a noun. It's a character in a film or story who has special strength and uses it to do good things and help others. So Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, you can call them all superheroes because they help people. But not only that, nowadays superhero is like it's used, for example, I can say that my dad is a superhero. Like I consider him someone that has good strength and that is help other people. So even for example, some people might consider Angela Jolie as a superhero because she's helped many orphan kids and she's helped many countries and people that have suffered. So it doesn't necessarily mean that only these fictional characters are called superheroes, but usually when you think of a superhero, these are the first things that come up. Spider-Man is a real superhero and he saves people who are in in trouble. Not in terrible, it's in trouble. Captain America is one of the famous superheroes in American movies. Many famous superheroes have role in the new action movie like Iron Man, Superman, Batman. My little brother wishes to become a famous superhero and saves poor people. So in this case, it doesn't mean that like you would wear a costume and automatically you're a superhero when you save people. Like for example, saving poor people makes you a superhero. So this is a quick quiz. So I'll just read the questions. The first one is put the following words in sentences. So put these words into sentences. The second one is are the correct words used in these sentences? If not, replace the word with the right one. Okay, so answer these questions and I'll come back to you shortly. Okay, so for the first one, you guys can just go back to the slides and there's many sentences for these words. And if hopefully, of course, you guys made your own new sentences. And if you want to see if it's correct or so on, you can just email it. The other one is, are the correct words used in the sentence if not replaced with the right one? A formal retreat was made by the German team about their disqualification from the relay final. So it's not retreat. Let's see. Is it either form a strike or protest? In this case, it can be both. So you can say a formal strike was made by the German team, disqualification from the relay final, or you can say protest. But both of it works in this case, to be honest. So it can be strike or protest. The snake lay absolutely motionless for hours as it demonstrated its meal. That's false. It is digest. The third one is, the people needed clean rivers and lakes when they can swim without the risk of their healthy. The word healthy is wrong. You just have to say health. The people needed clean rivers and lakes when they can swim without the risk of their health. Okay, so this is the second part of the quiz. So pause the video and answer it. It's basically true and false. If it's false, please correct the answers. So pause the video now and I'll tell you the answers. Okay, so the first one is, all phones are made waterproof. This is false because not all phones are made waterproof. There are phones that are, like for example, an iPhone 5 or the non-smartphones. They're not waterproof. So all phones are not made waterproof. So you can say some phones are made waterproof. So that's the correct answer. Protest means to refuse to continue working. So let's see. Protest. To show that you disagree with something by somewhere shouting. So that's false. To refuse to continue working is strike. Fast has more than one meaning. True. You can only refer to good people in movies as superhero. That's false. Compasses are sometimes used in order to know the direction of prayer in Islam. That's true. And yes, see you the next video.